All right, so now we're going to switch gears and talk about optical properties. Okay, so let me start out just kind of illustrating why we kind of care about the optical properties, what it gives us, and what kind of applications we're looking at with this topic. So this is going to be key, as you might imagine, to the field of fiber optics, and with that field comes transmission of data. So a lot of high-speed internet, whatever it may be, is going towards fiber optics because we can transport data quickly and with little losses and very fast. And so we're going to look at fiber optics in this section. Also, the kind of the coloration that we see on ceramics. So if you think about gemstones and their various colors, often the only thing differentiating two gemstones, except for the color, is the way that that's done. So a lot of times these are all kind of the same base ceramic. For example, alumina, but they have trace amounts of elements that give it this coloration. And so we're going to also discuss how this coloration comes to be, because this is important not only for coloration, which is kind of just a novelty, but it also tells us about other properties as well. So we'll definitely talk about this one as well. Other interest, obviously, our first lab unit in MSE407 was on ion exchange glass. Gorilla Glass is an example there. We didn't look as much into the optical properties, but clearly that is one of the reasons we use glass is for its optical properties. LED lighting, the coloration, the type of spectrum that we get from those LED filters comes from a knowledge of the optical properties, and also things like eyeglasses, lenses for optics and so forth. All of that is important in this section. Okay, so we are going to kind of limit our discussion in optical properties to the optical range of the EM spectrum. So we all know that the EM spectrum encompasses a very large range from gamma and X-rays all the way up to microwaves, TV, AM, FM, kind of long waves that we see. But kind of in the middle here is the visible spectrum, which is from about 400 to 700 nanometers. But we're also going to include into that some of the near visible spectrum. So ultraviolet and IR often get encapsulated in that same discussion. So we're going to kind of, when we think about optical properties, we're going to limit our discussion to this UV, visible, and IR range in those cases.